business, House Bill 4009. Clerk, read the bill.
HB 4009 by Toth, relating to the establishment, operation, and funding of victim offender mediation programs, authorizing fees.
Chair recognizes Representative Toth to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this bill creates a pretrial mediation program for nonviolent offenders and their victims. It passed out of the House 2 sessions ago with a near 2/3 vote, but it had some problems at the governor's desk, and we've done some things to correct that, make it better. And we have an amendment.
Amendment by Wu.
Chair recognizes Representative Wu on the amendment.
Thank you, members. This is a quick clarifying amendment. It cleans up what Representative Toth was trying to do with his amendment. So, as a test pilot, this program would only be for current misdemeanor charges. It would exclude out all felony charges. If it works well, in 2 years, we'll come back and add certain types of felonies instead of trying to exclude them out right now. And that's what it does. It's acceptable to the author, and I would move adoption.
Mr. Dutton, for what purpose?
I wanted to ask you a question of the
Mr. Wu, do you
amendment.
yield for question?
I do.
Amendment author. And the way the bill is drafted, it says something about being a defendant before you're charged. And I talked to you because I had a problem with that, because you couldn't be a defendant before you were charged, I don't think.
So, I think I know where you're going with this. So the intention of the bill is to allow individuals who are alleged to have committed crimes to find a way to work it out with their victims and to mediate. A lot of times the victims are just looking for an apology. They want to be restored to where they were, and it can go away. And what the intention of this is that people who are both charged and uncharged can use this. We've talked it over with Ledge Counsel. They said that the term defendant can apply to both someone who is charged and uncharged.
And not charged. Correct. So it wouldn't be an alleged defendant.
It's not necessary to say that. And I will address that with the...
Well, if you all are comfortable, I just wanted to be sure that, that the wording was proper, because when I read it, the first thing I thought was, how could you be a defendant if you haven't been charged with anything?
Correct.
Yeah. So the Ledge Counsel is comfortable with the language?
Right. Our lawyers are saying that the term defendant is ambiguous enough that it can cover both people who are alleged to have committed crimes and people who have been formally charged.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wu sends up an amendment. It is acceptable to the author. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The amendment is adopted. Does anyone wish to speak on for or against the bill? If not, the chair recognizes Representative Toth to close on his bill.
Members, this is a great bill. It's something that we can all feel good about. This is in keeping with the President's desire for the First Step Act. It keeps a lot of folks out of jail that on minor offenses that will have an opportunity not only to be punished justly, but have the opportunity to create recompense with the people that they've injured.
Mr. Wu, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
Mr. Toth, do you yield for questions?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Toth, may I ask you a few questions of legislative intent? May I ask you a few questions of legislative intent?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it your intention that the term defendant in your bill cover both people who are formally charged and people who have not been formally charged?
Right. We sought legal counsel on this, and it applies to both.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Wu?
I'll wait for the bill is adopted. Strike that.
Move passage.
The question occurs on adoption. Passes to engrossment of House Bill 4009. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. House Bill 4009 is passed to engrossment. Mr. Wu, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, I move to have the conversation between myself and Representative Toth transcribed and placed in the journal for the purposes of legislative intent.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is adopted.